Hello, this is Bill Zoller with the Wellness Warriors Ministry and with the Eat to Live Cooking School. And today we are going to be demonstrating our recipe for bean burgers, a terrific meal as perhaps a substitute for some meat products, and greatly nutritious and fun to make, something that you can take and freeze in bean burger patties, put them in your freezer. We think this recipe may make around 20 bean burgers. So here is what I have done so far. I have taken 4 cans of beans, canned beans, black beans, red beans, cannellini beans, and pinto beans. I have rinsed them well and dried the water off and put them in a stainless steel bowl. And I mashed these beans with a kind of a heavy-duty potato masher, and the thing is, I want to leave a little bit of texture in them, so it's not all mush, but there's a little bit of texture also. So that's what I've done so far in this bowl. Is I have crushed up, mashed those beans, wonderful beans. Are beans good for you? Hugely good for you. We urge people to eat 1 or 2 portions of legumes every day, lentils or beans of some sort. Just a great, great food with many, many health benefits. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some things to these beans in this stainless steel bowl. And the first thing I'm going to add is this mixture. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a wonderful mixture of sauteed onions, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, and some mushrooms that have been chopped up, I would say a medium to fine chop, and sauteed in a little bit of olive oil. We ask people not to use too much oil of any kind in their cooking, but we used a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in this. The other thing that's very important about this skillet is that we have all of our seasonings in the skillet. And we have some dulse, D-U-L-S-E seasoning, a sea vegetable that is just very rich in minerals, has a little bit of iodine in it too, extremely good for you. We put this in all of our soups and stews, and also in this bean burger recipe. We also have some chili powder in here, some turmeric powder, a little salt, a little pepper, some Italian seasoning. And by the way, Italian seasoning is just all wonderful green herbs, is what that is. And also we have some poultry seasoning. Poultry seasoning also, there's no animal products in it, it's all good green herbs. And a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder also in this mixture. And so I'm just going to put this in with our beans. By the way, this is one of my favorite meals. When I get hungry, I'm running to the freezer for a bean burger. Okay, so we've put our our onion vegetable mixture in with the beans. The next thing I'm going to add, this recipe needs a tomato product. Now you can use drained salsa if you like, but what I'm using today is simply some finely diced, fresh, ripe tomatoes, and I'm going to put that in there now. So as you put this recipe together, you always have to be sensitive. You have to be sensitive to how much moisture there is in the recipe, because you don't want it to be too thin. You want it to be kind of a medium amount of moisture in there, but certainly not too much moisture in your recipe, or the product won't hold together very well. Now, 2 more things I want to add here before we do our final mix. I am going to add a little bit of my breakfast oatmeal. And I'm also, my oatmeal is quick cooking steel cut oats and some barley flakes. That's what is in here. I'm going to add a little bit of this to the recipe, as well as some brown basmati rice. Actually, it's organic brown basmati rice, hugely nutritious, wonderful rice that has one of the lowest contents of arsenic. Rice tends to have arsenic in it, one of the lowest contents that you can find. And so the reason I'm putting the oats and the barley and the rice in there is because it's viscous and sticky, and it helps the recipe to hold together. So I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of the oats in there, And then I am going to also put some rice in there, some of this wonderful basmati rice. This, unfortunately, is a long cooking rice, but it's delicious. We use it in all sorts of things. By the way, this rice makes a wonderful rice pudding. I don't remember if the recipe is on our website. By the way, our website is mywellnesswarriors.com. So let me combine all of these ingredients together. And so this is going to be our bean burger recipe with all these wonderful healthy ingredients in it. So this is a high protein, no animal product a recipe that is very, very good for you, has a perfect amount of protein for the human body. It has very high in starch, healthy starch. It is a very satisfying product. It satisfies the appetite, and so it's just really delightful. And what we do with this, you'll see in a minute, we make a sandwich out of it. So I'm just combining it well, and it looks to me like I'm pretty good as far as the moisture content goes. But what I'm going to do, if you ever want to thicken up this recipe because it has too much moisture of any kind in it, what you want to do is just add some Italian-style breadcrumbs, and this will thicken it up so you can form your patties a little bit more easily. You don't want it to be too thin because the product doesn't want to hold together too well if it's too thin. So I'm checking that out as I mix this by hand. I'm getting hungry just mixing this. Actually, I had one of these earlier. It was our last one in the freezer. So I'm glad we're going to have more of them to go. Let's see, how many minutes do we have left? Yeah, here. So we have plenty of time. Okay, so this is getting mixed up very nicely. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to add just a little bit of breadcrumb to this to pull it together just a little bit more. A little bit of breadcrumbs in there. By the way, one of my principles for cooking soups and bean burgers and such things is that I want to pay attention to texture. I want to be sure every ingredient adds to the flavor. So I try to never use water. In my soup or stew. I always use organic vegetable broth because everything you put in it, you want to add to the flavor. You don't want to subtract from your flavor. So I think we're in very good shape right here. And so what we're going to do with these bean burgers is, so we make patties out of them, patties about that big, and we separate the patties with aluminum foil and stack them, and maybe put 5 in a little packet and freeze those. And so that they're very convenient to eat. All you need to do is take it out of the freezer, heat it up in a pan with a tiny bit of a good healthy oil. The only oils that I really recommend today, after we do all this research on oils, is we need to minimize oils first of all, and secondly, it seems like the bulk of the information indicates that the only healthy oils are extra virgin olive oil and probably coconut oil. So so I've used a little bit of olive oil in this recipe. Well, this is looking just really good and perfect, and so what I'm going to do then is in my toaster over here, I have a toasted whole wheat hamburger bun cut in half. This is going to be an open-faced sandwich, It's delicious. So we put this on our plate. I don't know if you can see my plate or not, but this plate, what it's going to be is we're going to have a bean burger on there. I'm going to heat it up a little bit. We're going to have a bean burger on there, and we are going to have some sliced onion. We're going to have actually red onion. I think we have a little bit of red onion. And we're going to have sliced tomato, and it's going to have yellow mustard on it, and a product called Just Mayo. It's an eggless mayonnaise. I really prefer Vegenaise more, but this is a very adequate product. Costs a little bit less than Vegenaise, and it's really delicious. So let me see, I think we have time to do this. I want to just heat this bean burger up a little bit that I make. And you want to put a glove on and see what we come up with here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, like so, form it into a patty, and I'll do that with the entire amount of the bean burger mix. So here we have a little patty. You make it any size you want. And when you make your patties, size might be determined by, are you really hungry? And do you want to feed an adult or a child or whatever common sense kind of thing you're thinking of? So I'm going to just put this in my skillet just for a minute to brown it up a little bit. And I'll flip that with a spatula in a minute. You see, this is, the shape of a hamburger, really. It's very nice and easy. Just be gentle with it, and this should hold together well because it has the rice and the oatmeal in it. So as soon as that heats up a minute, we're going to serve this. And what I'm going to do on this bun is I'm going to put a squirt of mustard on there, like this. I'm going to put a little bit of this real mayo product. And like so. So those are the only condiments you really have to use. And of course you could use anything you want. If you want ketchup or something, that would be okay too. And I'm going to turn this over. So everything in this bean burger is cooked. So I'm going to set the patty on here. When I have a little bit more time, I might do this and just brown it a little bit. What I'm going to do is just set this on here and put a few red onions on it, and put some slices of freshly cut tomato on it. And that is your sandwich. And that's the Wellness Warriors Bean Burger. Wonderful, wonderful contents with a little bit of mustard and no egg mayo and onion, red onion. Red onion is more nutritious than white onion, and tomatoes. Thank you for being with us. We hope that it's a recipe that you will try and that you enjoy, that you and your family enjoy. Thank you very much.